Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Glory Glory Man United podcast. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Quinn, and joining me today is my regular co-host, Brushy. As we discuss Man United's defeat at Old Trafford to Arsenal, I have to say I have very mixed emotions, Brush, as United were by far the better team, and the stats back that up. But United didn't convert any of their chances, and another goalkeeping error and another goal conceded from a corner has ultimately cost United. So a very encouraging performance, but shades of last season and how we lost the game, Brush.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, I feel I'm in the same boat as well. There was a lot of positives from what I saw. Um, we visibly are playing much better football now, so in that regard, I was very pleased. We're creating chances, and we were honestly for the whole 90 minutes. I thought we were the better team. I don't think we were really tested like that at all. Towards the end, there was a chance that they had when Saka played the ball through to Noni Madueke, and we were sort of caught out, but it didn't amount to anything. Aside from that, I thought defensively we were quite solid. It's incredibly frustrating to lose to the goal that we lost to. It's an error that could have been prevented, and it wasn't. Before the game, Amarim spoke, and he confirmed that Onana was in fact fit, but he chose to go with Bayern today. But yeah, we've discussed on this platform many a times the need for a new goalkeeper. I don't think either of them are good enough. Even if Onana had started, it probably would have ended up the same way, to be honest. So I don't know what else to say there. But yeah, going forward, we look good. There's definitely positives for sure, but we need to start putting these chances away. It's all good and well creating them, but if you don't take them, then results like this are going to happen. And this season, he's got no wiggle room really, and results matter. So yeah,
We've seen Onana concede that type of goal as well, so I'm not going to stand here and say that if Onana had have started, the result might have been different. Um, we need to absolutely sign a goalkeeper in this last, week and a half of the window. We cannot allow this goalkeeping situation to fester any longer. I just cannot do this for another year where we're losing games because of the goalkeeper.
exactly. And I tell you what, over the last 2 weeks, I think a few of us were getting a bit giddy over the links to the likes of Carlos Belieber and Donnarumma. The Belieber one, unfortunately, we've been priced out this summer, but it looks as if he's a long-term solution and a long-term target. So I'm assuming we'll probably go back for him next year, maybe. Um, but in the meantime, now, you've got no excuse now to not go and fix the goalkeeping issue. Go get that done.
Yeah, we've been strongly linked with Lemens, the Royal Antwerp keeper. I would take him right now, even though he's very young and inexperienced. And obviously Donnarumma has been linked, but he's
Yeah.
been more strongly linked with Manchester City at the moment, and it doesn't seem like United are going to pursue that one, which is slightly frustrating.
Yeah,
But
definitely, especially now that the believer thing isn't happening. Initially, when I thought we might be in for both, I thought, all right, maybe it's financial constraints, because obviously believer is going to be quite expensive. But now that that's ruled out for the time being, I don't understand why we can't go all in for Donnarumma. And it's a bit of a strange one, him being linked to City, because he's not typically the kind of goalkeeper that you'd associate with Pep football. So it's a bit baffling.
yeah, very strange. But the tier one journalists have
Yeah, and
said
they've
that
just
United.
got in James Trafford as well. So imagine his luck as well, going back there to be number one just to sit on the bench again.
Yeah, to me, they signed Trafford just to stop them going elsewhere and to, boost their, homegrown quota.
Homegrown quota, yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
he's one of theirs, isn't he? So yeah, it makes sense. If it's Lamin's coming in, I think it would be more of a replacement for Bayindir than Anana, but obviously he would still test him. So I'd prefer someone a bit more proven and ready to just come in and take over. But the time's running out now in the window, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much they'll want to invest. We'll have to wait and see.
And to make matters worse, Dean Henderson, I believe, had another good performance today at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, yeah, he's been doing
Uh,
his thing, hasn't he, Dean?
and the Sun, I know it's not a great source, have said that don't rule out David De Gea returning to United in this window.
It's the flipping sun, isn't it? Yeah, we can go ahead and rule that out right now. David's living his best life. It was absolutely wonderful to give him a send off and to see him again last weekend. But yeah, No, he's happy in Florence, isn't he? And we need to leave that well alone.
Yeah, absolutely. But we need to do something. The 17th of August, the window shuts at I think
Yeah,
7 p.m. on the 1st of September. We have to get a goalkeeper in, and today is just more proof of that.
yeah,
Yeah, Onana and Bayandira have been the comedy duo for Manchester United between the sticks, and this partnership needs to be broken up. And
definitely, definitely. I wonder if there's a chance we could get maybe even a loan signing in before the end of the window if they can't get a permanent.
yeah, I'll take anything at this rate.
Yeah,
Anyone who's an improvement on what we've got. Um, yeah, there could be a number two goalkeeper at another Premier
yeah.
League club who's not getting minutes who we could do with.
Hmm.
You know, this has got to be the worst goalkeeping department at Old Trafford, possibly since the Bosnich Taibi era. Yeah, and that's 25 years ago. It's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's comparable to that, isn't it? I think the only other time is probably what the Tim Howard, Roy Carroll one. But yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I would say they were slightly better.
Hmm.
I don't remember Tim Howard and Roy Carroll making errors at the same rate as these two. These two are
Not at the
costing us
same rate,
games.
not
Yeah.
at the same rate. But I do. I mean, when I think of Roy Carroll, the first thing I think of is of him, kicking the ball out of the net against Spurs.
the,
He
I
practically
love
fell into the net.
I love that meme of the bendy line,
Yeah,
to make it look as if it didn't cross the line.
yeah,
But it
yeah.
was
It was
effect.
insane.
I mean, it was closer to the back of the net than it was to the goal line. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you didn't even need VAR for that one. In all honesty, it was just crazy.
uh, yeah, United, as you said, they have put the feelers out there and had discussions through intermediaries and direct discussions with Brighton over
Hmm.
Baliba, and they think that it's going to be too expensive this summer, given that
Yeah,
the massive outlay we've already paid for players in the attacking position. So they're maybe going to
yeah,
park
and
that one for till next year.
yeah, I think so. And I think the other issue is as well that Brighton have planned for him this season, and he's got plenty of time left on his contract, so they're in no hurry to sell. And then obviously, they've got a price in mind now based on what they got for Casado, and I wouldn't be surprised if they want something in a similar ballpark figure for Believer.
Yeah, it's going to be 100 million at least.
Yeah,
And if he has another good season, his price is not going to come down. It's going to go up.
it's going to go up. Yeah, and then there will be competition as well. So uh,
Yeah, that's my biggest fear, that City, Liverpool, Chelsea could come in as well next
yeah,
summer.
yeah. So my hope is that United have made an impression. Well, it turns out from his camp, it sounds as if he is quite keen on the move. So if we can just lay the foundations now for a future move, then happy days. But at the same time, he's only 21 years old. Like him coming in isn't going to solve all of our problems. So I hope they still are looking at other targets and other things they can address in the meantime. But it will probably depend on outgoings as well, right? And there's a certain Mr. Sancho who's still refusing to leave, despite whatever offer he gets.
But you could see today why we wanted Baliba. We're
Yeah,
having to start Casemiro, who obviously is miles
yeah.
past his best and is off
To
the
give
pace of the
credit to
Premier
him
League.
today, I thought he did all right today. But yeah, obviously he can't last the whole game, and he is, ages catching up with him very fast.
Yeah, the fact that Casemiro is playing ahead of Ugarte
Yeah,
tells me what the manager truly thinks of Ugarte.
and I'll tell you what, he didn't do himself any favors when he came on Ugarte.
Oh, he was brutal. He was
Yeah,
absolutely woeful. And if you're in a situation where Casemiro, at nearly 34 years old,
yeah,
is your best number six, you need to sign someone. You know,
yeah. And the
uh,
thing is, though, like anyone we look at, even alternatives, they're gonna be quite pricey, aren't they? So I think that's the issue. Because
yeah,
I've heard
I,
mentions of Adam Wharton as an alternative to Believer.
yeah, I think Wharton will be even more difficult to get out of
Yeah,
Palace than
exactly. I
yeah.
think because it looks like they're moving on from Eze as well, so it's going to be very expensive. Um, Elliot Anderson is a player I like, but again, Nottingham Forest, that we've already seen them play hardball with Tottenham this season for Gibbs White. I don't think they'll be the easiest of teams to negotiate with, nor would they want to lose a key midfielder.
No, United. do need to get someone in that position for sure, but it's hard to know who it will be at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe some people are not completely ruling out a move for Baliba,
Mm.
but
You
yeah,
think
we'll
they would
see.
push
We'll
the
see how
boat
it goes.
out like on the last day, like Berbatov style?
Yeah, make a crazy offer that they cannot refuse. If
Yeah,
United
yeah.
manage to get Garnacho, Sancho, and Anthony off the books, then maybe then
Mm.
they'll feel as if they have the cash to go big
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Baliba.
I think that's part of the issue, though, mate. I think the likes of Sancho, he's just adamant to stick around, isn't he? Because personally, on paper, I thought the Roma move was very good for all parties. Even for him, it's a good club and it's better than what he deserves based on what we've seen from him. But yeah, he's determined to just see out this year. I think on the big boy wages.
Yeah, 20 million on the table from
Yeah,
Roma, and for a club like Roma to even want him, he should be privileged, given how
absolutely.
given how far his stock has fallen in world football.
Absolutely, and they're in Europe as well, so they can even offer him that. So I don't understand why he's hesitating over that move. It's a great move.
Yeah, and like he should go there, and it'll be a great lifestyle for him as well. He'd play in Europe, as
Yep.
you say, and United would probably give him a payoff just to make sure that he goes. So
Hmm.
I don't see why is he digging his heels in again. He just will not leave. This guy, he's like a bad smell that just keeps
Yep.
lingering.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. So that one's quite irritating. Anthony as well is another one. I mean, he's adamant he wants to go to Betis, but Betis haven't put in an actual offer. I presume they're waiting till deadline day to put in a loan offer, so that's quite frustrating as well.
yeah, I'm just sick and tired of Real Betis, to be honest. If
Yeah,
you can't
and then
afford a
obviously
player, then
Garnacho. I think it's more of when rather than if. We're just waiting on Chelsea, aren't we, with the Garnacho situation?
yeah, the situation there is, as I understand it, United want 50 million,
Yeah,
Chelsea want to pay 30.
yeah.
So
They're taking the absolute piss with 30 in this market as well. Yeah, I think we're well within our rights. I don't even think we're demanding too much. Like it's the going rate.
no, look what Madueke went for.
Yeah,
Um,
Ilanga, what they paid for Giddens, all of them. It's all in the 50 range. So I don't think we're pricing him out of a move. I think that's fair in this market.
yeah, it's absolutely fair, but
Yeah,
Chelsea just everybody seems to just want to take the piss out of United, and we should
yeah,
not accept that.
definitely.
Um, like if either Chelsea pay up or he plays in the reserves for 6 months or 12 months, and he apparently has said that he will sit if he has to if he doesn't get his move.
Yeah.
But this is a World Cup year. Does he want to play in the World Cup or not?
Yeah, so I saw those quotes flying around on the socials, but I hadn't actually heard the actual interview. If it was an actual interview, so I wasn't sure if it was just words that had been taken out of context.
It came from Romano though,
Right.
which is
Okay. Because the thing is, sometimes it can be interpreted differently to how he said it. He might have just been stating a fact that if he doesn't get his move to Chelsea, then he's not going to be
and
playing. You know.
we he doesn't do himself any favors. I mean, now he put something up on socials of him vaping, uh, and Samuel Luckhurst did an article the other day saying that Arsenal, Tottenham, and Atletico Madrid all
Mhm.
decided against signing Garnacho.
Because of his attitude, probably.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt, he doesn't do himself any favors whatsoever.
Yeah, because
All the
Arsenal on
shenanigans on
paper they're
social
looking
media.
for a left winger as well. So I was wondering if they would be interested. But then obviously Arteta's got previous, hasn't he, for people with attitude problems. He famously ruled out Ivan Toney and Aubameyang as well. He had a clash with and got rid of. So yeah,
Like, if your attitude is so bad that Diego
mhm.
Simeone doesn't want you, then that's really saying something.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, and that's his fellow countryman as well. And there's a big South American contingent over there in Atletico.
yeah, he's had quite a number of volatile characters there at Atletico that he's
Hmm.
had to deal with. So the
Yep.
fact that he's totally put off Garnacho speaks volumes about the problems that he's having in terms of his attitude and the social media shenanigans with him and his brother, and even posting up a posting up a picture of himself with a Villa shirt on with Rashford on the back and all this. Every other week is some kind of nonsense with him on social media. But vaping, that is a new low. Like uh, I know it's a common thing with people who are like under 25. Vaping is like
Yeah.
something it's like a fashion statement now. But he's a professional athlete playing at the highest level. You cannot afford to
Mhm.
be putting that stuff into your lungs.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
these
I
days
just
when everything's on camera and filmed and documented. It's just a very silly thing to do, isn't it? Like back in the day, there was a lot of footballers that used to smoke and stuff, but it wouldn't get reported on like it does today. And also the health standards and everything's changed as well. Back then, like half the Arsenal lot used to go out for pints before and after games.
yeah, it's a very different game now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just looking at the stats back up what we were saying in terms of United's performance. So 61% possession, 22 shots to Arsenal's 9, 7 on
Mhm.
target to Arsenal's 3. We had 476 passes. They only had 296. Um, yeah, we had 8 block shots. They had 3. Um, and yeah, we for me that's clear and obvious who the better team was there. We had a number of chances were involving. I have to say, Kuna was excellent. So was Mbumo and Ahmad when he came on. Mason
Mhm.
Mount did well on both ends of the pitch, but I was just frustrated that a centre forward didn't start the game. I thought it was obvious that we were lacking that man in the middle.
Yeah,
Um,
but give credit to Mount though. I thought Mount was very good today.
yeah, not with his tackling was excellent. One
Mhm.
particular tackle on Saka was brilliant, and then at the under end of the pitch, yeah, he was heavily involved in United's
Yeah.
moves going forward.
Yeah,
I
he's
have to say,
playing like a player with a point to prove, isn't he? So, yeah, I'm just hoping he can stay injury free. I never really questioned the talent itself.
we have to play with a number 9 on the pitch, especially when we've just signed one for all that money.
Yeah, yeah, but I
I
think
don't.
that is just the fact that he's been here for a week. He wasn't involved with any of the preseason, and we tried this false nine thing in preseason. So I'm sure as the weeks go on, like they're gonna bed Sheshko into this. And yeah, in that first half, the game was crying out. You thought for someone for a focal point in attack. But I liked glimpses of what we saw in that attack, though, from Mbumo and Cunha. Cunha's second half, especially that little turn that he did and the ball in, and it was fantastic. And then there was a bit of miscommunication there and positionally between Mbumo and Ahmad. There was a bit of confusion and it came to nothing. But the actual ball itself, I thought was brilliant.
I love Kuno's direct running when he picks the ball up near the halfway line with his back to goal. Then he turns his man, absolutely wipes him out, and then he's
Yeah.
away. He's running straight down the middle
Yeah,
of the
and
defense. A defense.
in that first half as well, there was one where he took on a couple of players and beat him. So that's
Oh
interesting.
yeah, yeah,
The strength, the character. But yeah, it's just the final touches, isn't it? It's just we just need to add goals to our game.
yeah. He must have took it past Arsenal players, and then he was in, but
Yeah,
the shot was a bit tame.
yeah, the finish was
And Bumo,
lackluster, but he did the hard part really well.
yeah, and really encouraging performance from Mbumo as well.
Hmm.
I think I seen a few people on social media saying they didn't realize just how good he was. I mean, his first
Yeah,
touch is just exquisite, and he just glides past defenders. His crossing is excellent as well. That's something that will really benefit Chesko when he starts. Is those left-footed in swingers from Mbumo?
hopefully, yeah, because
Yeah,
against
and he,
other teams, I don't think the front three would be crowded out quite how they were today. I mean, Arsenal are playing like Stoke.
yeah, oh, yeah. It was a rear guard action from Arsenal today, especially in that second half, and then
Yeah,
scoring from a set piece. It really was like Stoke.
yeah, it really was.
Mm. Um, Yeah, I do like the fluidity of Kouna, Mambumo, and Mount, but
Hmm.
still my preference is to have big number 9 in the team because there was times where like Dorgu was delivering the ball into the middle and there was nobody
Yeah.
there.
And
What
I'll
about
tell you
Dorgu's
what, that's the player we need to touch on as well. Yeah,
yeah?
Dorgu's
What about
effort. He was
Dorgu's
so
effort?
so
He hit the post.
so unlucky. And the thing is, we saw him grow in confidence over the summer as well, haven't we? So it was nice to see that translate at the start of the season.
Yeah, I was a bit of a vocal critic of him last season, but
Yeah,
he's come on leaps and bounds, and that today, if that would have capped off a really good performance by him, if he'd have scored, I was so unlucky, just hit the outside of the post.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and yeah, this is why I'm not. It's the first game of the season. We're playing the second best team in the league, and we
Mhm.
outplayed them. So even though it's a defeat, I'm not down in the dumps. This is really encouraging from a
Yeah,
United point of view.
yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's very annoying the result, but I'm actually quite pleased with how we played today, and this is, it's a good sign. Obviously, in the long run, we have to start picking up points as well. We can't keep saying, we played well, but the result went against us. But today, I'll take it. I mean, against the runners up last season, and a team who's consistently been in the top four for the last several years, and we were by far the better team.
Yeah, absolutely without a doubt. They will feel the opposite to us. They feel that they got the win, but they got out of jail. And if
Yeah.
I'm honest, I'd rather be in their position than ours.
Uh,
you know, you
I mean, it's annoying, isn't it? It's like, would you rather play well and lose, or play badly but get the win? Usually, I'd be in the latter, but I think for where we are, it's important that you see good football as well, instead of getting
yeah.
sort of jammy wins. So yeah, it's kind of like a take one step back to take two forward kind of thing for me.
But this good performance only matters if we beat Fulham and Burnley in the
Oh,
next two
absolutely,
games.
yeah, yeah, we have to. There's no excuses, especially Burnley after what we saw from Burnley yesterday. They're there for the taking. That's a must win. And teams like Fulham as well. Like, a lot of the teams out in and around us and bottom half and all of that. We need to put in good performances.
Yeah, the likes of the teams that finished above us in the bottom half last season, and even not towards the bottom of the top half of the table, like the teams between 8th and 14th last
Yeah,
season, we need to be beating these teams this season if we want
definitely,
to get up that table.
definitely. And we know what this league's about. It's dog eat dog, so every result counts. So we need to build momentum. It's quite important. But we knew it was going to be tough though. The first 10 games when the fixtures came out. We play last season's top four in the first 8 games, so that's one down.
Mm. Unfortunately, we've come away with nothing despite the performance. But
Yeah, and the
Amram
next two
needs
are
points on the board after this.
absolutely the next two are must wins really, because obviously game week 4 we play Man City, and I know it's only Wolves, but they look frightening yesterday at times. Reinders, what a player!
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be up there challenging again for the title.
Yeah,
I'd be happy if we just finished fifth this season. But
that would be some achievement. It'll be some achievement. I'll take, if you offered me fifth right now, I'll take that.
yeah, and that's probably going to be a Champions League spot. So
Yeah,
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. So I'll take that.
Um,
But even that, I think it's going to be a real challenge. Realistically, I see us somewhere between sort of seventh and ninth.
yeah, we'll see how the first 10 games go, and then
Yeah,
we can make a proper judgment.
definitely.
But another, good thing about today was the defense. I thought they were pretty solid, especially
Oh,
Lenny.
Delit was fantastic.
Yeah, Delict made a number of last ditch challenges.
Yeah.
Lenny Yarrow was just Lenny Yarrow,
Mhm.
very, very competent and really good on the ball. And obviously has great pace and good recovery pace and really great tackler. Even when he goes to ground, he's like Wan-Bissaka. He always seems to make the tackle. Uh,
Mhm.
Rather than taking out his man, he always seems to get the ball. But he he's them two look like they're going to be mainstays. Luke Shaw was the one who got the nod on the left. I'm not surprised he went for experience over Aiden Heaven, with
Yeah.
Martinez yet to be available. And yeah, he wasn't bad, was he? He did reasonably well. But yeah, so far so good for United in terms of the injury front. You know, between the start of pre-season and beginning of the Premier League, I haven't really picked up any any injuries really, and the injury-prone players are in the starting 11. So uh, that's definitely encouraging that things seem to be. I know it's early days, but seem to be improving on that front. If you have peak Luke Shaw in your side, then that's going to be a huge asset. Amram even called him a world-class player, and
Mm.
yeah, if we can get a full season out of him, that would be brilliant. He's 30 now, so yeah, he really owes us a full season because he's missed so much of the last two seasons. So much so that Bruno Fernandes now has nearly as many appearances as Luke Shaw, despite him signing for the club about 5.5 years later.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
insane, isn't it? But yeah, I'm happy for him. Though. I thought he did pretty well today, and it's nice to see him fit. Hopefully, it stays that way. There was a few people that were somewhat surprised, I would say, by seeing him in the starting lineup. But I certainly wasn't, just because of the experience he provides over the likes of Heaven.
Yeah, I thought against Arsenal he'll go for experienced players
Yeah,
rather than youth. I'm not surprised that he went for Dallo instead of Ahmad to begin with
because
because
it's Arsenal, isn't it? So you
yeah,
need to be a bit more, defensive minded, I guess. So yeah, I understood that one too. But yeah, a lot of people weren't happy about that. To be fair.
I didn't love it, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
Um, but I fully expect Ahmad to start against Fulham and Burnley in that position, and then possibly
definitely.
against Man City, Dallo will come back in. You would have thought, but yeah, thought Diallo had the desired impact when he came on, just going past people, making things happen. And he was appealing for a penalty at one point, and then Maguire came on. He seemed to go up front and like a battering ram and winning flick-ons
He was
and
also very lucky not to get carded. He came on and almost instantaneously gave away his free kick in a very dangerous position.
I think it was it Havertz that he took out. I think
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. But he could have had a penalty. He was having his shirt tugged in the penalty
yeah.
area, and you could lip read him saying to the referee, "He's pulling my shirt."
Hmm.
But I thought they were going to clamp down on that this season. I It was Martin Ziegler done an article the other day saying that the PWMOL are now going to clamp down on holding during corners and free kicks and simulation and and all that. They're going to clamp
Hmm.
down on those things this season. So there was for me his shirt was being pulled in the box. In fact, Kuna's shot with a left foot that
Yeah.
was saved by Raya. He was having
Hmm.
his shirt tugged there as well. So Arsenal got away with it. I'm not surprised they weren't given because they're never given.
Hmm.
But to me, they could have been penalties if the letter of the law was applied.
Yeah,
But
definitely. It could have gone either way, and it was one of them ones.
mm, yeah, and what about Mbeumo going for the overhead? Oh, yeah, that would have been some goal, but didn't
Yeah.
quite make the connection.
Yeah, it was just unlucky in the final third. They really need to step it up. Like I say, there's chances being created now at least, which is nice. Whereas last season, we didn't know where a goal was coming from. Now we see signs of it all coming to life. But they just need to work on it, on the finishing. And again, like I said, against other teams, we'll have a bit more time and space. Arsenal just, they had so many men back today, and all our attackers were just crowded out. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there was another chance in this late in the second half where I think Kuna went to try and do a wee side flick
Yeah.
past the goalkeeper, but William Saliba made a last ditch challenge
Hmm.
and Kuna went down and he was on his back and he was appealing for a penalty there. I don't think that was quite a penalty. I think it was a decent intervention by the defender there. But yeah, we came close so many times, but
Yeah.
uh, despite the fact we've invested heavily at 200 million or plus
Hmm.
in the attack, we still haven't managed to score a goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to be fair and say there was so many good elements to that performance. And I think
Definitely.
the goals will come if
And
we
we
keep
knew it
playing
was
like
going to
that.
take time. We knew that just changing the front line wasn't going to change our fortunes overnight, because the rest of the squad, unfortunately, is the same, isn't it? So, some of it, players like Dorgu, you'd have to just give them time, and you can see the improvements. So, they can only get better with age, him, Euro, and whatnot. and others we already know it's just a matter of time before we get a chance to replace him. Really.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the bench there, and just remember that Tom Heaton was on it. So
Yeah,
if he had got the nod, we might have came away with a 0-0 draw today.
perhaps, perhaps.
Because that's not the type of error that he usually makes. He's usually
No,
quite a commanding goalkeeper
yeah.
from set pieces. So
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
we
know what goalkeeper in the Premier League makes this mistake. Mistake, if I'm being totally honest. He just kind of flapped at it, like, and it was
yeah,
so close to him as well. Like, there's really no excuse. Uh,
there's only one other keeper who would make that mistake,
yeah,
and that's
I know, I
Onana.
know, and yeah, yeah, yeah. He would have like pushed it out in front of him or something, just given it a punch, but a punch that wouldn't have made it go anywhere.
I fully expect Onana to start against Fulham, but I would
Yeah.
start Tom Heaton until we get someone.
Mm,
But yeah, the goalkeeper and defensive midfield position has to be
yeah.
addressed in
Hmm.
this window, without a doubt, or we're not gonna be finishing in the top five.
Yeah.
Um, but this is you know I have to say that last season's recruitment was decent overall
Hmm.
last summer, but Ugarte definitely the weakest signing.
Mm.
At £50 million, and we're still looking for a number six. That's not great. Um, he finished last season very poorly. He lost the ball in midfield and then just gave up against West Ham. Then Aram seemed to be put off him by that,
Mm.
and then he never started a game again. I don't think, certainly not an important game. Didn't start the Europa League final. In pre-season, it was very mixed. I think he had a good game against West Ham, and then he was very poor against Everton, and now he's been left out again today. He came on as a sub. He was atrocious. So
And I tell you what, I
he's
don't know if it was with Belieber in mind that we loaned out Collier, but I thought that was a bit of a surprise to me. I thought he'd be one of the players that we look to this summer um, if we didn't get new midfielders in.
and I really like Collier.
Yeah,
He's never let United down.
yeah.
You
But on
know,
the plus side, hopefully he gets first team football at West Brom, and we know how tough and Ahmad up. Championship is a tough league.
yeah, you know, having playing a few League Cup games for United and having the odd sub appearance in the Premier
Yeah,
League over the course of a season, it's probably not going to be as beneficial as 45 Championship games. He may come
absolutely.
back
And I
a
think
better
it's
player.
yeah. The fact of the matter is there is no buy option or anything, so United still clearly rate him. So, they want him back. So I'm just hoping this is a good developmental year for him. But it
Yeah,
does
we all
unfortunately mean that we're stuck with the old guard, Casemiro, for another year. It doesn't look like there's any interest. So he's with us.
uh,
Ugarte thing might be a problem, like you say. So yeah, big changes need to happen in midfield. And then Bruno as well. He's not getting any younger. He turns 31 next month.
um I think the long term success of Bruno will be Kobe Manu.
Hmm.
That's the feeling that I'm getting at the moment. Yeah, he didn't get on today. That just shows you the attacking options we have in midfield
Yeah.
areas now. We're just a bit short in defensive midfield.
Were you surprised it was
Um,
Ugarte that came on and not Mainu?
no, because if Manu comes on, then you're a bit unbalanced in midfield.
You're losing all of this. Well, defensively, you're losing all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way that you're going to play Menu and Bruno as your midfield too is if he's coming on with about 10 minutes to go and you're 2-0 down or something. You wouldn't in most situations
Yeah.
you wouldn't unbalance your midfield like that.
Especially playing against the boys that we did. That Zubimendi is very good, isn't
Yeah, whenever I seen Rice,
he? Yeah.
Zubimendi, and Odegaard, I thought that's a very strong midfield that we're going
Very
to be playing
strong.
against today, and
Yeah.
I didn't fancy it. But United with a better team.
Hmm.
Despite Arsenal looking better on paper. It's,
Yeah. Yeah. No, because honestly, I don't think they really ever tested our keeper. Like I say, apart from the last ditch little chance they had that Saka created, even that was quite late on, and it was when we were pushing in the game. Aside from that, I don't really think we were tested.
yeah, and even Delict prevented that being a shot on
Yeah,
goal.
yeah, and Delicta, this is more of that, please. We know this is something you have in your locker, and we just need to see it consistently throughout the season.
Yeah, I think he's just as good as Maguire, if not better. But the thing that really
Yeah.
goes in his favour is that he's quicker than Maguire,
Hmm.
and
Well, yeah, he's a lot
maybe that's
younger as
why.
well, isn't he? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think Max is what, like 32 now, going on 33, and I think Delite is what, 26. So we should really be in for his prime time years over these next couple.
yeah. Um, yeah, really, really pleased with his performance today. Um, just looking at a message from Nigel, giving his take on the game. He says the game was lost by the team selection. If we were to progress, the manager must be braver. He says you saw the impact of Ahmad in the second half. How the fuck was he left out of the starting 11?
Oh, nice. I hear it, but it's because it was Arsenal, isn't it? I think he was being a bit cautious and didn't want to get caught out early. So I understand it in games like this against the big top four teams. I can understand why, but yeah, I see both sides of it. To be honest, I am with him
Yeah,
though. I
but
would like us to be a bit more adventurous, but I understand why. Sometimes they want to
but
approach it conservatively.
but Nigel believes that no matter who we're playing
Yeah.
at Old Trafford, we should always be on the offensive and take
Mm,
the game to the opposition.
yeah.
And that was a very very negative lineup from
Yeah,
Amram, but
yeah, very much so. But even with the lineup, though, that's what pleases me, like how we played. I think we probably surprised a few people, given the lineup and how we did.
yeah, just frustrating, and we come away
But
with
Nigel's
nothing
not
in the
wrong at
end.
all. Obviously, Old Trafford used to be an absolute fortress uh, in years gone by, and if we want to get to that again, then yeah, we do. We need to we need to start putting out lineups where the opposition are intimidated before they even walk onto the pitch, the way they used to be.
Yeah, once we get ourselves back in the top five again,
Yeah,
and we have a team capable of getting closer to the
yeah,
top of the table, then we can start to think about taking the game to the
hmm
big six teams. But obviously as fans we would like to see that even now. But you can understand the manager doesn't want to leave too many gaps in behind. When you're playing.
definitely. And I think the other thing as well is understanding the frailties of the team. If you then go attacking and you lose additional goals, it's even harder to come back. Uh, because no matter what lineup
Yeah,
we put out, we still would have, had a goalkeeping issue.
yeah, without a doubt. But 39-year-old Tom Heaton is available, and
See,
I think
even
we
with
have
this
to
Tom
start using
Heaton
him.
thing, like I do, currently I do think he's the best keeper we have, but we have to keep in mind he's 39 and he's only played a handful of actual games the last couple of seasons, so no one really knows
Yeah,
his level in the Premier League. So again, that would be a huge risk as well. It's damned if
but
you do, damned if you don't. If you ask
but
me, they're all liabilities.
yeah, but it's not a greater risk than playing Bayern on Onana on any given Sunday. I would just go for it and see how it goes. You know, I mean, Van der Sar played for United when he was 40, so why
Oh, but
not?
Edwin van der Sar is absolute levels. I'll take van der Sar now. I saw him on the timeline on holiday enjoying his swim. He still looks pretty lean.
Yeah, I mean, I would take a 61-year-old Peter
Yeah,
Schmeichel.
yeah. Over
I
what
would
we
take an I would take an 82-year-old Alex Stepney. You know, over Onana and Bandier. These guys are just a joke. You know, I don't like going after these guys. It's not personal, but they're just
no,
not good enough for this level.
yeah, that's all it is. It's never personal, is it? It's just they're not cut out for this level, unfortunately.
No, nowhere near it. Well, we ha- look. I cannot, as I said earlier, I cannot go through this for another season where we're losing
Yeah,
games
and
because
I
of the
don't even
goalkeeper.
blame Bayern there because I mean he's clearly a number two. So no one's expecting him to be fantastic when he comes on anyway. So it's one of those ones.
Yeah, this it's not. This is not something that can just wait until June 2026. This has to
Yeah,
be sorted now.
yeah, that's the thing. Something has to be done. Which is why if there
Yeah,
was any inkling of an opportunity for Donnarumma, I absolutely would. But obviously that might be a pipe dream. That one. Even Sani Lamine, just get me somebody. We need somebody in who can at least challenge, if not come in and cover.
Yeah, yeah. Even if he do, I would start Lemans right away. But
Yeah,
even if Amram decides not to do that,
yeah,
uh, when Onana makes a couple of errors,
hmm
you want to have someone competent to come into the team.
exactly. This is why early in the window I was, I would have been open to Kepa coming in as a number two because he played a full season at Bournemouth last season. We saw what he's about. Yeah, he makes mistakes and that, but he definitely would have been good enough to challenge Onana. And he went to Arsenal for what, 5 million?
Yeah, we really missed the boat there.
Yeah.
Just looking at Amram, obviously was being peppered with questions about the goalkeeping situation after the game, as you would expect. So, don't know what to make of this. So Amram says, "I didn't drop Onana from the squad. It is not putting Andre with just 1 week without seeing a game, without time training. So he only had 3 training sessions." He says,
Yeah.
after being probed, he says, "I am happy with the 3 goalkeepers."
Mhm.
I don't believe him when he says that, and I hope he's not
Oh, but
telling the truth when he says
yeah,
that.
absolutely. If you ask him, he's going to say that on camera, isn't he? Behind the scenes, I'll be very surprised if he is happy. But obviously, he can't come out and say he's not happy with his keepers. He's got to keep them on side until he can find better.
He says that it is a fight for places. We will see what is going to happen on the market.
Hmm.
Different characteristics. Rasmus has the same characteristics as Ben Shesko, so sometimes we need to choose. Yeah, that was pretty ruthless today, by the way, leaving Rasmus out of the squad altogether when
I
the
think
guy doesn't.
it's a clear sign, isn't it, Carl? I think the problem is we're clearly trying to ship him out. And if you put him on the bench, even you're giving him hope that he can play his way back into the team. I think this sets out a clear message that it's time to go elsewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave, and United are now basically trying to force him out.
Basically,
And
yeah,
leaving him out of the matchday squad
yeah.
is absolutely brutal. Uh, yeah,
It's the
so
only way to convince him, isn't it? Really. So yeah, I understand that one. I'm not convinced that AC Milan is the best place for him either. But hey ho, it's a league that he's familiar with.
mm, United would prefer a permanent deal,
Yeah,
but it could end up being a loan with an option to buy.
yeah. I think at the moment that's what it's looking like. I was reading what around 6 million euros fee, and then they'll cover the whole of his wages and a potential 40 million euro buy option.
I don't think Milan will spend that kind of money on a player, so
No,
he'll probably come back.
yeah, I can't see that
Mm,
happening either. And the other two strikers they've got, Okafor and Jimenez, have been scoring in pre-season, so he's got competition even if he goes there.
yeah, without a doubt. Let's see how it goes for him. Hopefully, he goes to Serie A and he plays well, and then like he does an Anthony, where he does well on loan and then his stock
Yeah,
rises.
definitely. And listen, it's a league that he's familiar with as well, right? So hopefully he goes there and he settles back into the swing of things.
Uh,
So even if it doesn't work out at AC per se, that other clubs will be interested at least.
as frustrated as I am with his performances last season, I feel sorry for the guy because he's a Man United supporter, and it's just
Yeah,
it's it's not worked out for him. He had a decent first season, totally fell away last season. He even yeah, he wasn't even doing the basics anymore. His touch
yeah.
started to let him down and everything, and he wasn't scoring any must
Mhm.
goals, and he's lost his confidence. They set him up the field by bringing him in, as a 20-year-old who only scored 10 goals in Serie A, and to be
Yeah, it
United's
was
first choice striker, setting up the field there basically.
absolutely
Uh,
through no fault of his own. It was absolute insanity to sign him on the back of that one season for the fee that we brought him in for, and then to make him the main striker, and there's no support at all. So yeah, it's crazy.
and I guess that what's happened this summer is that we brought in a new number 9 and we want to balance the books, so he's been
Mhm.
pursed out.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It makes sense because again, the new guy that's been brought in as well again is nowhere near the finished article. He's also a project. The difference now is that he's got two guys coming in with him that are experienced and used to the league. So it somewhat
Yeah.
alleviates the pressure on him. It's not all on his shoulders.
I'm just laughing here. Um, do you remember we had Ryan on the show from United Central
Yep.
at the start of the summer? Um, he's in very negative form in the last few days and again this evening, and he he replied to my post saying live now on Instagram, and he says, "I guess you're making more excuses as to why we didn't win." So he's not taking any positives from this at all. You know, he's kind of the type of person that he's either it's all he's either black or white. There's no in between.
Yeah.
If we win, then everything's great. If we lose, then everything's shit. He doesn't take the
See, for
positives from
me,
the defeat.
today it's a thing where had we won the way Arsenal won, I would have had a lot more concerns. As weird as that might sound, because then
Yeah, I
that would have
totally get what you
meant
mean.
that because that would have meant that Amarim's style and system is not working, you know, and I wouldn't have known like where we're headed. Whereas now, yes, we lost and it's horrible, but we can see what he's trying to build, and we're creating chances and actually playing better football, which in the long run will always work out better than just a little bit of individual brilliance and just jammy wins here and there. You know, this is a step to consistency, the way I see it.
Yeah, of course you want results, but you want to see performances
Yeah,
because that gives you confidence that United can actually go on a winning run and actually do well.
absolutely. And then you know the good thing as well in a way is that the flaws that we have are clear flaws that everybody can see, so they just need to address them. Hopefully, if they can do something in this window, great. But you know, until those are fixed, we won't really know, will we? But at least we know the flaws.
Yeah, and there was a I put out a post the other day saying that if we're not going to sign Baliba in this window,
Yeah,
can we at least sign Lamens?
yeah.
We're still well short of having a squad that could finish top
Mhm.
five. And Ryan again wasn't happy with that. He says, "Raise your standards and demand both. We aren't skint and don't need to sell to buy, so stop believing their lies."
Well, no, I mean, well, in terms of the believer thing, it's the fact that he plays for a club that don't need to sell, and he's a valuable member of their squad. You know, like what can we do apart from put in a competitive offer? If they're adamant that they want to keep him, then fair enough. There's not too much more we can do, really. You know?
Yeah, it's not that I believe that United don't have the funds. I do believe they
Yeah,
do. It's just that Brighton don't want to sell
they
him this
don't want to
summer.
sell him.
And
Yeah, and it happens. Like, do you remember that whole summer when we just chased Cesc Fabregas, only to then panic and end up with Fellaini? And also in more recent years, the Frankie De Jong situation. You know, if the club doesn't want to sell, like there's nothing too much that we can do. And how much do you want to overpay by exactly?
um, yeah, you know,
So
but
it's
that
just
that
difficult.
sign that sign is so important to us that if we
Yeah,
spend 120 million on him, I don't care.
yeah.
You know, just get it done. Um,
Yeah, but then that also brings with it certain pressures. Like people are acting like he's gonna just solve all of our problems. He's still only 21 years old. Even if he comes in, it's gonna take time, and you still have to sort out the goalkeeping situation and whatnot.
but I know he is like a young N'Golo Kante. That's the
Yeah,
dream
he's,
signing
he's
right
got an
there.
he's got an engine on him. Funny you should say that as well, because you remember when we were talking about the imbalance in midfield and how to accommodate Bruno. I was saying, like, short of finding a region to N'Golo Kante, there's no way Bruno works in a two-man midfield.
Yeah, and we have the opportunity to sign
Yeah,
an
yeah.
N'Golo type
He's
player.
not quite that, but yeah, he's definitely got an engine on him. But yeah, he's very good, very good.
Yeah,
I
just
think my
watching all
only
the clips of
concern,
him.
yeah, I think my only concern would have been the fact that obviously the AFCON tax. You know, how many players do you want to lose come January?
I know.
And we've already got a fair few now. So in terms of that recruitment wise, they need to look at it going forward as well. I mean, Believers of the ilk of quality that I would look past all of that and get him. But we do need to keep an eye on that going forward, unless that tournament just moves to the summer, because that you can't afford to lose four, five, six players for a month. in Jan. When you're fighting for league positions and trying to build something.
Yeah, that is something to consider, but it wouldn't prevent me from signing a player of that quality.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, same here. But yeah, like just look at it on paper though. Just for example, like you're losing Mbomo and Ahmad for a month. You can add Mazraoui to that as well. So then, if another midfielder goes as well, that's that whole right hand side. It's important positions that have been taken out.
yeah, it is a concern, but Cameroon would really have to improve on their last performance
Hmm.
in that tournament, because I remember that Onana missed one game against Newport and that was it,
Yeah,
because they weren't in the tournament very long, I don't think, and
and also I
so
think he ended up getting dropped by them as well. So it was all for nothing.
yeah, I think he made a mistake in,
Hmm.
in, in that tournament too, didn't he? And yeah, he's just not a reliable goalkeeper at all.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just watching the clips of Baleba, yeah, he he makes the tackle on the edge of his own box,
Hmm.
and then he carries the ball forward, and he's like Frank De Jong with the ball at his feet. He's able to carry the ball from defense into
I
the
tell you
attack.
what, if we really wanted to play 4D chess car, what we should do, we should keep tabs on who they're looking at to replace Belieber.
Yeah, I had Phil on the last show,
Yeah.
and he said that what DNA should do is bid 100 million for Baleba, and then whoever
Yeah.
Brighton have lined up to replace him, just buy him instead.
Buy him instead. Yep, keep tabs. Because it's a nice little recruitment network they've got going on there.
So just a quick rundown of the player ratings, which are going to be mostly good, I think. But the first one's not going to be by
Mhm.
Deer gets a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
A
You had one job.
huge error,
You had one job and you failed miserably. Like you weren't really testing the rest of the game. So yeah, I totally understand that.
catastrophic error, which
Yeah.
cost United the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Cost us
two
points.
out of ten.
Yeah, yeah.
Lenny Yarrow and Delict, yeah, and Shaw, I give them all sevens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's about fair. Mm. Uh, Dallo, I give him a five. I don't think he was
Hmm.
very impactful in the game at
No.
all. Um, Casemiro was okay. Yeah, I think I'll give him a six. But whenever Arsenal were counter-attacking, he was well off it. He was never going to make up the ground.
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's always
it
a
takes
concern
him
with him.
5 business days to make up ground now.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
um, so I give him a five. Bruno Fernandez, not his greatest game for United, but some really good passes actually. To play Mbumo in
Yeah.
very early in the game. There was one in particular that was an inch perfect pass. But came to nothing
And
in
I
the
think,
end.
yeah, it's an interesting one for Bruno this season, isn't it? Because he's sort of relearning a role because his role has, he has to adapt his game. And he spoke about it as well, didn't he? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that one to see if he can have the discipline.
Uh, yeah, but I've seen his interview. He's certainly willing to take on any role that's given to him by the manager. Yeah, we're going to see a lot more of him as a number eight this season, instead of number 10, given the our embarrassment of riches in the number 10 position.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll give him a six. Patrick Dorgu continued on his pre-season form.
Yeah.
Uh, hit the post and really unlucky.
Very unlucky
Uh,
as well. It was a very good shot.
and he was linking up well with Mateus Cunha.
Yep.
It was obvious that him and Garnacho had no relationship. Garnacho never looked for Dorgu, always
Hmm.
wanted to cut in and shoot, whereas Cunha's always willing to use the overlapping run. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Mason Mount, give him a 7 as well. Very industrious performance. Um, yeah, made a crucial tackle on Bakary Saka.
Yeah,
Um,
he put a proper shift in, didn't he? So yeah, it's interesting that one.
yeah, was heavily involved in many of United's attacks as well, and yeah, he was everywhere. Uh, yeah, Mambumo and Kuna, they would both get sevens as well.
Hmm.
It's one of those days where most people are 7 out of 10, and um, yeah, and we've come away with nothing. Mm. S- So it's one of those really frustrating. Ahmad, I come off the bench first. I gave him a 7 for his impact, and Ugarte was very poor. He would get a 4. Um, Maguire, Benjamin Sesko didn't really see much of him
Didn't do
really.
anything really. Nah,
Didn't really get
nah, he didn't get into the game. But then he was crowded
no
out as well, wasn't he? So he didn't really get much service really to him. Uh,
no. Um, I would give him yeah, give him a 5, but he wasn't
yeah,
on that long,
he
and
wasn't on that
obviously
long. Apart from an appearance point, like I don't know what else to give him. We have to just wait and see what he does against Fulham and Burnley.
and Harry came on very late, so it's
Yeah.
difficult to get. I just remembered another Mbeumo effort. It was the header, which Raya
Hmm.
saved. He headed it into the ground, which was the right thing to
Yep.
do, but it wasn't far enough in the corner. It was quite
Nah,
close
nah.
to Raya.
It was within his range, his area.
Yeah, yeah, with so many efforts on goal.
Hmm.
If only would have scored just one of them and didn't make that goalkeeping error, and we'd be in a very different mood right now.
Definitely.
But yeah, following on from this, we have to get 6 points in the next 2 games before the City match.
Yep.
Um, and then once we go off air, I'm going to have to explain to Ryan why we have to take the positives from this performance, which he doesn't seem to get. Yeah,
Yeah, like
he's
listen, honestly, would love to be sitting there, with a win on the board and 3 points, but it doesn't always work out that way. But um,
you know,
but there are positives to take though. Had we played like Arsenal and then got a loss, then it would have been doom and gloom. Then I would have been annoyed and been like, "Where now? Where do we go from here?" But I'm not doing that yet. Like, obviously, if we don't pick up points against Fulham and Burnley, then it will be a concern. But at this
yeah,
point, it's not panic stations. Far from it.
no, definitely not. There is reasons for optimism after that performance. So
Yeah.
yeah, and Amarim, I'd have to give a quick rating to him as well. It has to be a 5 because we lost the game and there was some
Hmm.
contentious team selections in there. So yeah, just a 5 out of 10 for him. So Brush, um, probably see you again then after the game against Fulham, which is the same time next week.
Yep.
And it's at the cottage, and United need to go there and get the points.
Yeah, we
It'd
really
be
need some
interesting to
points on
see
the
if,
board before that City game.
yeah, without a doubt, and you would like to think that Burnley at home will be a banker for this United team.
Yeah, you'd hope so. You'd hope so, but again, you have to give everyone their respect. You can't. Things aren't won on paper, so you can't go there and mess about. You still got to turn up.
Yeah, even if we beat Fulham 5-0 and we're full of confidence, we have to take
Yeah.
Burnley seriously.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
You have to treat every single game like that and turn up. But we've absolutely got the quality to win the next two, and I'll be looking for that as well.
yeah, it has to be 6 points. No, no
Yep.
excuses.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, everybody, please like the video if you watch on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, whether you watch on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or Apple, and get some of your comments in. I know there's some of you out there are not at all positive after the defeat, but me and Bruce are definitely taking encouragement from that performance from United.
Yeah, definitely.
It was,
Yeah, I'm feeling better than I thought I would be, to be honest.
yeah, I'm not too downbeat and depressed.
Yeah.
You know, if we were halfway through the season and
Hmm.
we'd had 10 defeats already, and this happened, then I'd be pissed off. But we're 1 game in. We played well against the second best team in the league, so
Hmm.
there's reasons for optimism there. But
Definitely.
as I said, that has to be backed up with results against
Yeah,
Burnley
yeah,
and
that's the
Fulham.
thing. If we're sat here in 2 weeks' time, mate, after Fulham and Burnley, and we've not picked up a point, and we're saying the same things we're saying now, then it would be a concern. But not
Yeah,
now.
I'd be Yeah, I'd be hugely concerned if we drop
Yeah.
points in those games.
Hmm.
But I shall see you again next week then, Brush.
Yep. Catch you next time.